when you find your genius, you become unstoppable. There's a lot of things I cannot do. There's a lot of things I cannot do. I don't know how to fix stuff. I don't know how to fix things. If I'm with my friends in the car and we get a flat tire, my friends are like, David, we have a problem. No, you have a problem. I'm a runner. I'm going to run home. You better download Uber or something. I'll see you later. All right? I don't know how to cook. The last time I tried cooking, it was 2008. I almost blew up my house. I left the gas on for 21 hours downstairs, full blast. All right? So I remember I used to go out with this girl, and she was like, David, why can't you cook for me? My last boyfriend used to cook. Well, go back with him. All right? And she did, and they got married. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is finding your genius. See, and when you find your genius, you find success on your own terms. Now, let me tell you about my friend Jose back home, all right? He's a plumber. And so whenever I need help with the sink is clogged or the restroom, I call Jose. Now, the other day, I had a problem on Saturday. But I know that if I call Jose on Saturday, he's not coming over. Because on Saturday, you can find Jose driving his Mercedes to the country club, golfing with the local politicians and the lawyers and the doctors and the leaders. See, he found success on his own term. There is no one profession. There is no one people group. There is no one ethnicity that has monopolized success and finding your genius. Every single one of you, that's right. There is no, yeah, that's right, absolutely. People from the north are not smarter. People from the south are not smarter. People from the west are not smarter. People from the east coast are not smarter. If your skin is lighter or darker, that has nothing to do with you tapping in to your potential and finding your genius. Nobody else can dictate how far you want to go. And we brought you here to inspire you, to tell you that there's no limits to how far you can go. Now, students, let me drop some knowledge on you. This is some mad knowledge right here. People never judge you as you are. People do not see you as you are. People see you and judge you based on their own perception. So whenever somebody tells you you're not good enough, what they really mean is I'm not good enough. And because I can't accomplish it, I don't want you to accomplish it either. When somebody says it can't be done, that doesn't mean that you can't be the first one who does it. Whenever somebody says it's impossible, what they really mean is I'm stuck and it's impossible for me, so I want you to be stuck. But ladies and gentlemen, not you and I. We are the future leaders of this country. We are exploring. That's right. That's right. People have told me, they say, David, you learn these languages, you travel, you lecture, you do all these things. David, you're over the top. I say, I'm not over the top. I'm over your top. My limits are different. See, when you find your genius, you are on your own level. And that's when you're on your own level, there's no judgment. There's no haters. There's no negativity because you are doing your own thing with your own gifts. And there's no judgment. I'm a Hispanic man from the corner of South Texas. All right, and I met somebody here who I've known for years who's from the same region. And there was a certain stigma towards me when I was growing up, towards that certain region. But ladies and gentlemen, I have decided that the stigma and the labels that other people want to place on me mean nothing to me. The only label that matters is me staying true to my genius. And don't ever let anybody put their limitations on you, because for you, there is no limits. For you, there is no stigma. You have found your own genius and you're so far above it. Absolutely. I travel all over the world, and a lot of my friends say, David, don't you see racism? I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist, but I'm so far beyond that. I love all people. If you're red or yellow, black or white, I love all people. I don't participate. David, but how do you handle the haters? I don't engage in them. I don't participate because I found my own genius. Now, how do you find your genius? Let me drop a few clues on you. All right, we asked you some questions. I asked you some questions earlier. What do you like? What are your strengths? Let me give you a few other clues. All right? What things have you had to overcome in your past to get to where you're at right now? When I listen to the stories of students, some of you blow my mind. Your stories are so powerful. And you tell me what you've been through. You've told me what you've gone through and how you got to the place that you're at right now in life. Some of you don't even realize how powerful you are. When I was growing up, I grew up in the middle of two worlds, back and forth between the United States and Mexico. And I remember it was tough. I was 3, 4 years old. And when we used to go to Mexico, my mom said, David, you are not speaking English with your relatives in Mexico. You're leaving English back here. Now you're going to have to speak full-on Spanish, and you're going to have to shift your brain. And all of a sudden, we were coming back on the bridge, and all of a sudden she said, no more Spanish. All right, you're going to switch back to English. If the customs agent asks you, you're going to say U.S. citizen. I was 3 years old. My mom was training me how to say U.S. citizen. It was a lot of pressure for a 3-year-old. All right, I said, Mom, I don't like having to go back and forth. I wish I could just, be a kid. Why do I have to do all these things? I remember thinking, I told her, I don't like speaking Spanish. I don't like having to switch. When you grow up on the border, true story, when you grow up on the border in kinder or first grade, the border patrol goes to your classroom and they take a German Shepherd to your classroom. And they talk to you about drugs and undocumented workers, all right? And if you know anything about the border, a lot of people who are there don't have legal rights to be there, and the dogs go around. It's a different kind of world. I didn't like it. I said, I don't like having to prove my citizenship. I don't like having to do all these things at 7 years old, 6 years old, having to go back and forth. But ladies and gentlemen, now, as I've grown up, and I've been to many countries. I have to count them. I'm sure I've been to over 20. I've lived in 5 different countries. And I've crossed and I've been to every continent on this planet. Many times, over and over, have I had to switch from an English brain to a Spanish brain, to a French brain. Many times have I had to come back into this country and say U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen. That stigma and that pressure that I felt as a kid that I could not stand gave me a strength in my adult life. And people say, how do you adapt so quick with languages? How do you adapt so quick with all these people groups? It was my pain in the past that gave me the power that I'm facing right now. And students, some of you, you're going through some painful situations, or you've been through them. Let me tell you that on the other side of that pain is power. On the other side of that breakup, on the other side of feeling lonely is something wonderful, is a beautiful treasure. Don't ever get stuck. Don't ever give up just because you can't see it.